Australia. We are rounding out HoopsFest with a massive matchup. The Adelaide 36ers taking on the Sydney Kings. It's been the best week out here in WA, putting on a show at the Fan Zone, RAC Arena, HBF Stadium. But these two teams are looking to round it out. The Adelaide 36ers, a roundabout off-season for them, but it's Montrezl Harrell, the former NBA Sixth Man of the Year, who's going to lead the way for this team, with Jarrell Martin sitting out from injury. And from next stars, Alex Toohey, to known stars in Xavier Cooks, the Sydney Kings, the strong pre-season favourites. And the man who's going to potentially lead them to the championship is none other than Brian Goorjian. As we welcome you in, Brian, on behalf of the wider basketball community, your tenure with the Boomers has come to an end. We want to thank you for your services to the national team. You've done a fantastic job, our first medal. Congratulations.
Thank you. No, excited about the NBL, excited about our first game, and been very impressed, here getting to see all the teams so far, and just the evenness of the competition, and I think it's at an all-time high.
Goorjian, let's get straight to it. How in the hell are you going to keep all these superstars happy? With minutes, with points? Have you had that conversation yet?
Yeah, we've talked about it. I think a key thing for us is pace, and I think the key thing for us is energy and enthusiasm. And if guys are sitting out and sit for a while and come back in and they're dropping their shoulders and they're not acceptive of that, we're not going to get to where we want to go. Right. And the establishment of the roles, I just told them we got to get 5 or 6 games in here, and we can find out where the pecking order is. But it's been good at practice so far, and I'm excited about the first game.
Brian, we just looked at your depth chart, and as Cam Oliver is on screen there, we noticed that he's not in the starting lineup today. What was your thinking with that one? Kelly Pepe has been outstanding in the preseason. Did that have a lot to do with this rotation?
Well, Cam came in underdone. Just simply came in underdone, and we had him in the first group, and moved Kelly in there when we started playing preseason games, and he gave us that defensive versatility, being able to switch on balls, being able to pressure the ball up the court. So we went with D first, but as time's gone on, he's becoming more and more of a presence, and that may flip-flop over time.
Lanard mentioned, and you mentioned, player management is such a key to this team with so many stars. Xavier Cooks obviously missing out on the national team. You were head coach here. Is there any flow-on effects? Has it been spoken about, discussed?
Well, I mean, I'm sure he was disappointed, and it falls in his box. I was in the national team in that position at that time. We needed a guy who could stretch the floor and shoot the three and make free throws. With this team, we're kind of thin in the guard spot, and we need a guy that can carry the ball and make plays. Xavier was in the camp. I think he could see why we made the decision we made. His ability to accept that, to me, has been amazing. I walked in the door, and it fell on him. What am I going to walk into? What am I going to receive? And it was a hug, a high five. I'm glad you're here. Let's go. The Kings are the Kings. He's been a pro.
Wow. Goorj, I've been knowing you a long time. When I first met you, it was all about the defensive side of things.
Right.
You moved to China. You had a couple of games where you scored 120 points. What's the identity of this team? Defensively, offensively, what?
Well, I think I'd be stupid if we don't play up the floor. I've got Ibu Kwal. I've had the ability. I had 2 players here, and I've been able to recruit the squad. So a defensive presence have been a big package to that. And I think we're much better, like the national team, at pace as opposed to in the half-court structure. And that's built on defense. You can't run if you can't get stops.
Well, Brian, you've got 2 league MVPs on your roster. Jalen Adams in the point guard position. He was a bit down last season, but this is a guy under your tutelage who I expect to be able to get back to MVP level. What's been the key in trying to resurrect him so far in the season?
Figuring out what makes him tick. I haven't played games yet, but I know practice-wise, he's not a script guy. He's not a 5-on-0 run-through. He wants time and score, winner and loser. Let's compete, let's get. And then offensively, he loves getting to the point. I remember having Bobby Brown in China and saying, quit getting the Chinese involved and touching the ball and doing this. Give me the ball and set the pick, and let's get to the point. He's very much like that. Give me the ball, push it, pick the ball, and let's start with me attacking the rim. So I'm in his hands with this thing.
Okay.
George, before we let you go, when you finally retire, that might be 20 years from now, what's your plans? You going to play golf? You going to get into television? What do you plan on doing?
I can't get into television. I'm looking at you guys ahead like this, and that ain't happening. But I know I'll always be involved in the game, and I've met so many great people through this, including guys that I've played against. It's so great now to see guys in their 50s that I've competed against, and now I've got these same contacts overseas. So Yao Ming, people like that, I plan on traveling the world, seeing games, and then obviously helping Australia basketball in any way I can.
Fantastic.
It's not going to be the camper van. That ain't happening.
Fire up the Jayco Goorjian. If we know anything about you, you're going to find a way to have a little fun on the back end of your career, which hopefully is a long way away. Thank you for joining us. Good luck today. But it's not just Goorjian back in this league. Xavier Cooks, a former MVP, one of the greats, returns to the NBL.